Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to discuss remakes and remasters and my stance on them in regards to video games. We have a lot to talk about, and I thought with the recent release of Silent Hill 2 that this would be the perfect time to discuss my take on how I feel about this medium in the industry. So, remaking a game is taking a game and building it from the ground up with new graphics and new content, and much more. Remastering a game is porting a game and touching up the graphics, resolution, and performance. There are many types of remakes and remasters we've seen in recent years, such as Super Mario RPG, um, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, Skyward Sword HD, and much more. So, with this out of the way, what makes remakes and remasters good, and what makes them not so good according to other people? One of the biggest issues that people have with remakes is that they are seen as replacements for the original. This is most notably seen in the video game industry, with remakes being the only available option to play on a modern device, such as the Super Mario RPG remake, as I said earlier, any of the Pokemon remakes, and recently as well, Silent Hill 2 remake. For people, the best case scenario for a remake would be that the original is also available as well to purchase, such as the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, which is available on all platforms, and there is a remake for Metal Gear Solid 3 coming soon. One reason I like remasters and remakes is that it can be a new experience compared to the original game. This could include new content such as an epilogue and some extra quests. This can include bonus games available. And I also like just having to have the same game but better performance and potentially better visuals. One thing I don't like about remakes is that sometimes they change the art style for the worse. Remakes can change their art style to make it seem like it looks better than the original, but they might misunderstand the art direction that made the original shine. As for remasters, one of the big issues I have with that is that sometimes they can mess with the lighting of the games, and there's a handful of examples out there of remasters where they're either too bright or too dark to look at. My basic take on remasters and remakes is that I like them when they're good, but I don't like them when they're bad. But if you want to know my hot take on them, I think that remasters can definitely provide a better experience for a game with the right care. However, if not done correctly, it can overall damage the experience of a game, and that can lead to a lot of serious issues over time. As for remakes, I feel that remakes are nice, but they're kind of a way of redoing art, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I feel that remakes represent that game during its time period. So to have it where you're doing it again in a new time period, it's gonna change. It's not gonna be eye to eye as it was in the original. Some of my favorite remakes include Odin Sphere, Kirby Superstar Ultra, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, and Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. As for favorite remasters, That would include Gravity Rush Remastered, um, Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, and um, along with the Uncharted Nathan Drake trilogy. I think that we are definitely in a golden age of remakes and remasters, but for some people, they feel that these resources can be better used to make a new game. As for me, I appreciate having a remake and a remaster of a game I love, but I think the games that deserve it the most, which are the ones that are critically flawed, are the ones that don't get it. I show this footage in the background to kind of give an example of a remake that is considered good and a remake that is considered bad. In this case, we have Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, which is a remake of the first game on the Game Boy Advance. This remake was necessary because it was unable to play the first game on the Nintendo 3DS. So they took the assets from Dream Team, gave it a new Bowser's Minions mode, and did some quality of life improvements, such as the game running at 60 frames per second and having the map on the touchscreen. This is a good remake. I played a little bit of it. I definitely see why they needed to remake it, and it benefits from it. I personally still would choose the original game. However, it is a good option if you only have a Nintendo 3DS. However, I feel that Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey was an unnecessary remake. The 3DS was able to play the original game on its DS backwards compatibility mode, and the game that needed the remake the most was Partners in Time because it suffered from some pacing issues and just lacking what made the original shine. So instead, we got a remake with a new art style that doesn't look as good as the original. It runs at 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second like the original. And they even removed the left-handed mode that was in the original game. While you do get Bowser's Jr.'s Journey as brand new content, this remake is mostly seen as poor from the Mario and Luigi community and overall unnecessary altogether. It is because of this remake that Alpha Dream went out of business. It is thankful that we are getting a new Mario and Luigi game 6 years later, but this remake is an example of something that didn't need to be done. As for a bad remaster, the main one I always think of is Sonic Colors Ultimate. This is a remaster of the Nintendo Wii Sonic game where you use Wisp powers to explore an amusement park. This remaster suffered from a lot of technical issues such as lengthy loading times, poor performance, and neuter lighting and graphics compared to the Wii original. This was not handled with care from its developers, and because of that, it damaged the reputation of Sonic Colors from the fandom. While people nowadays would rather play the Wii original on Dolphin or on a Nintendo Wii, it is unfortunate that the most accessible version of Sonic Colors is arguably its worst version that is available. This was also the same with Sonic Adventure DX on the Nintendo GameCube. However, I feel that one is where there is some good out of it, but it is also shocking to see just how much of the game's original art direction is lost in this enhanced version for the GameCube. One of the best remasters I have played is The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD. This includes some new quality of life improvements such as faster sailing, gyro controls, and a redone Triforce Quest. They later remastered Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, and those have their plenty of quality of life improvements, such as higher resolutions, better performance, and some amiibo support as well. It is nice that the Zelda series has some nice remasters, along with remakes as well, such as Link's Awakening. I like that remake, but I feel that the art style hinders the game's performance and it's a little bit too different in how I imagine the game's aesthetic as it was on the original Game Boy. I think it's also worth pointing out that there exist demakes of games. So instead of trying to make the graphics look better, you intentionally make them look worse than their original. This can include Pac-Man Championship NES Edition and the NES version of God Plus from M2 and Bandai Namco. It is pretty cool that you were able to take a game you love and intentionally make it look inferior as if it can play on an original console that it desires. There's definitely the need to remake and remaster some games, but I also just feel that some games are better left untouched. This is why I'm a big fan of Nintendo Switch Online and the PlayStation Plus catalog, as you're able to play direct ports of classic games that were available on the original hardware now on modern consoles. So I'm able to play Earthbound on there or Ape Escape on the PlayStation. I'm happy that these options exist and they should be encouraged more. So, with that, I'd say that I'm happy that we have remakes and remasters, but they should be made with caution. What do you guys think about remakes and remasters? I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. I'm working on a handful of new videos coming soon, scripted and unscripted, so I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, and have yourselves a good day.